But there was a comment that LaFleur made talking about Matthew Golden. He said there's a lot of opportunity for him to go out there and take this upcoming season. And you think about the state of the Packer receiver room, and one of the questions that's been there for years has been, who's going to be the number one? Do they need a number one? It's exhausting. Packers fans are tired of that question. We're not going to go back into that question, but the Packers receiving room and just the quantity of guys without anyone really stepping up has been a very popular topic of discussion. And I'm not saying Matthew Golden's going to come out here next year and become like wide receiver one or anything, but when you talk about guys who need to elevate their game next year for Green Bay, where does Golden fill in for you there with Romeo Doubs leaving, Wicks leaving, Jacobs having whatever's going on, Kraft returning from injury? How high do you place Golden on that list?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I totally forgot that Doubs is now in New England.
No. It's kind of slid under the radar.
Like, where's Wicks now? Philly,
yeah.
Right. To me, Matthew Golden has to take a pretty big step up.
It's a golden opportunity.
Because now it's a golden opportunity.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's Christian Watson, Kraft's coming back. Matthew Golden.
Reed,
right. But Matthew Golden should be maybe your number two receiver.
You want him competing for that. Right now, he's a three.
Right, competing for number two receiver. But not to just be, there were so many games last year where he was just dead. It's like, is Golden hurt? He's not playing. Where is he? I don't think that there should be a game now in his second season where it's like that. Like, I think he should get a decent share of the load in each game.
When you have, and a lot of Packers were hurt last year, right? So there were games where he was should have been a prominent guy, but I mean, now the other thing about it too, right, is now with that room a little more bare, if Watson or Reed, who have been hurt, go down,
yeah,
I mean, you really need to be able to step up.
Last year when Doubs was there, I mean, Doubs was probably their second best receiver last year. Doubs was very good, right?
Yeah, Doubs. I've always liked Romeo Doubs.
And when you have Wicks and you have all those guys and Matthew Golden's a rookie, you can afford to, I guess, take those games off and not be a huge part of the playbook. But this year, it's totally different. And we saw last year towards the end of the season when Golden got more involved, especially that playoff game.
The touchdown was unbelievable.
How good he can be. And a good Matthew Golden is going to make this team better.
The other thing about him, even though he had 361 yards and 29 receptions like that. I mean, if you told Packers fans that before the year, they'd be no one would sign up for that.
The thing is, though, with everybody they had, I think that was affordable. Whereas this year, right, there's two receivers with injury history,
and Kraft coming off the ACL.
Your two decent receivers are gone. To me, Matthew Golden needs a pretty large step up.
But it's also a nice spot where he doesn't need to come in and immediately be great. Like, he can ease into it because you do have Kraft and you do have Watson and Reed. Yeah. They all should be healthy to start the year.
A lot more involved.
But another thing to build off of with him, while the numbers weren't great, there was no game that I looked at and went like, damn, Matthew Golden took over that game. And I don't know, he might just not be someone who can actually do that. Like, he might just be an okay receiver. But there were a few moments, like if a Packers fan were to say me, convince me why Matthew Golden will be really good next season, I would say there were a handful of moments last year where the Packers needed a play. I'm thinking Dallas in overtime, they had a fourth down. I believe it was a fourth down against Cincinnati when the Bengals with Joe Flacco were making a comeback. I believe that game too, there was a third or fourth down. There were a handful of plays though where Matthew Golden made massive third and fourth down conversions. And he did nothing else like the rest of the game. But that's who Jordan Love turned to in the big moment. And again, it's to be able to turn that into a whole game worth of production is a different beast. But you can at least point to that and say, okay, that's something he did in Texas, right? They went to him in big moments too. How can we start to pile that up?
When I was at the Sunday night game in Pittsburgh when Tyler Kraft was murdering us.
Oh, Tucker
Kraft. Yeah. And
you texted us and you said Tucker Kraft is the greatest tight end of all time.
He was just murdering.
Maybe football player. You might just say football player.
We were getting him into a lot of third downs. Like, we're doing a good job on first and second down. It was like 3rd and 4, 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6, and everybody sitting near me. The whole stadium is like, just whatever you do, make sure it is not Kraft. And when it wasn't Kraft, it was so annoying because it was Golden.
Your
Like
buddy.
it would be my buddy. But I'm like, dang, like Golden's just I didn't even know he was playing. And here's Matthew Golden for a huge third down conversion.
Yeah.
But like all I'm saying is like maybe it's not in the Packers' DNA to have a receiver like an obvious number one who just pops off
The current Packers.
like puts up like Mike
Post
Evans.
Devontae Packers.
Right. Post Devontae Packers and put up like Mike Evans or Antonio Brown numbers. But Matthew Golden to me can't have these games next year where he's catching one ball for 3 yards.
Yeah, and
like,
it's a reverse or two.
Yeah, like Matthew Golden needs to be a lot more involved in year 2 in the play.
And a lot, and part of that's on.
I was going to say I don't think much of it is Matthew Golden's fault.
Yeah,
but I'm saying he's got to be a lot more involved.
I think Jack cursed him. Has he gotten a Lambeau Leap yet?
No, he scored 1 touchdown.
I
scored
want
1 touchdown in the playoff game.
I want to be in Lambeau Field when he scores.
For those who are wondering, when we went to the draft in Green Bay, and Golden was selected, we were like, we were backstage basically, and we were able to go to the player press conferences. So it was really funny because everyone's in there in suits and ties with their television companies, and then there's me, Jack, and Ziggy wearing a Harrison Smith, Everson Griffin, and what were you?
Juju.
Yeah, not even a current Steeler, a Juju Smith Steeler jersey. And you just saw people looking at us and like, what the hell are those guys doing?
Yeah,
like did fans find their way backstage?
Like, who the hell are those guys?
And Jack's really good at just basically like shamelessly asking these guys questions. Like it's just a good trait Jack has as an analyst or reporter, whatever you want to call it. So like Golden answers 3 questions maybe, and everyone's trying to talk to him because he's the Packers pick. And Jack's like, Matthew. What'd you say?
I said, I was like, how long do you plan on being in the stands for your first Lambeau Leap?
Yeah.
And he's like, long time, brother, long time. And year
question should have been, how long do you plan until having a Lambeau Leap?
Yeah.
Answer could have been, long time, brother. Long time.
Year 1 goes by, there's no Lambeau Leap.
You have to imagine the betting value on Matthew Golden scoring a touchdown has to be minus what? 10,000?
Oh, throughout the season? The regular season?
Yeah, for this year, it's got to be what, minus 100,000?
Yo, yeah.
I don't know. He didn't do it last year.
Well, I don't think even last year was probably minus 10,000.
Long time, brother. Long time.
How long do you plan on taking to score your first Lambeau to get score your first touchdown in Green Bay? Long time, man. Long time.
Yeah. I mean, the touchdown in Chicago was awesome, but yeah,
it's funny. He
need more.
He was catching balls against Pittsburgh, and I'm like getting pissed, a little annoyed and frustrated. But then I'm like, oh,
he's my friend.
Matthew's a good dude. He's my guy.
Didn't you also talk to him before?
Yeah,
right? Yeah. You interviewed him.
I asked him rather eat his least favorite food every day for the rest of his life, or watch Oklahoma win the national championship. And he said he's going with the food.
Yeah.
He's like no brainer.
Didn't you talk to Golden too? Didn't you ask him if he wanted to be a Viking? Who'd you talk
maybe I
to?
did. No, I talked to Will Johnson.
Will Johnson.
I talked to
Will Johnson,
the cornerback. And Ziggy talked to Ashton Genty.
I mean, Golden is great. Love the guy. Want to get a beer with him sometime, but it was Tyler Booker was my man.
Oh,
like
Tyler Booker.
He's
a beast.
The guy was a beast.
Yeah, you're right. We have to go back to the draft.
My second favorite team is now the Cowboys because of that.
And George Pickens.
Yeah, I mean the Cowboys were second favorite.
It all makes sense.
Steelers and Cowboys.